They ruled worlds that no longer exist, their names carved in gold, their faces lost to time. But the crown cannot outlast the bone. Beneath layers of sand, stone, and centuries, science now reaches into the silence, rebuilding the faces of kings and queens who once believed themselves eternal. Each reconstruction is an act of resurrection, part myth, part microscope, revealing not gods, but fragile humans behind the crowns. This is Riddle Me This Mysteries, and this is episode 3, Rulers and Royals. In 1922, a sealed tomb in the Valley of the Kings broke open, releasing the scent of ancient resin and the weight of a vanished world. Howard Carter leaned forward, and the lamplight caught gold, walls, chests, a throne, and finally, the face of a boy frozen in eternity. For a century, that mask defined him. Then science peeled it away. CT scans of his fragile body revealed truths no priest could have spoken. A broken leg that never healed, a curved spine, a clubfoot, and the shadow of malaria in his blood. His skull, once thought divine, bore the quiet mark of inbreeding, slightly elongated, not by ritual but by lineage. The radiograph spoke of pain, not power. In 2023, researchers led by Michael Habicht and Cicero Marias gave him a new face, built not from stone, but from pixels. Using high-resolution CT data and digital layering, they recreated his soft tissue, skin, and eyes with lifelike precision. What emerged was no god-king but a teenager, narrow-shouldered, delicate, thoughtful. The mask had hidden a boy caught between divinity and disease. From a child crowned as a deity to a youth undone by frailty, Tutankhamun's face reminds us that even the sons of gods were human and fragile. But long after Egypt's dynasties had fallen silent, another ruler rose on the far side of the world, a queen who built her power not on bloodline, but on legacy buried in gold. Her tomb lay sealed beneath a sun-baked pyramid of stone and earth, untouched for more than a millennium. When archaeologists opened it in 2013, the air that escaped was thick with resin and time, and with it came the echo of power. Power buried deep but never gone. She sat upright, adorned with gold, surrounded by 58 noblewomen and more than 1,000 precious objects. Ear spools, alabaster jars, and embroidered cloaks, still faintly perfumed with ancient cotton. The grave told a story of authority, women who ruled, taught, and were worshipped. Beneath her chamber, new excavations revealed another secret. A workshop where 7 elite craftspeople were buried with their tools, and 2 guards whose feet had been severed, condemned to keep watch forever. The Queen's world was a hierarchy even in death. In 2022, scientists from Warsaw and Lima rebuilt her face. High cheekbones, dark eyes, the poise of command. Rendered in lifelike color, she looked neither cruel nor kind, but certain. The same stillness that filled her tomb now lived in her reconstructed gaze. She ruled an empire of stone and silence, her artisans buried beneath her throne, her lineage sealed in gold. But the centuries could not erase her presence. In every stitch of cloth and flicker of pixels, the Wari Queen looks back, calm, unyielding, eternal. Her kingdom of gold faded into the earth, but far beyond the oceans, another empire shimmered in silk. There a young emperor would rise, brilliant, ruthless, and destined to fall to the frailty of his own blood. His empire shimmered in silk and steel. In the 6th century CE, Yu Wenyong, known to history as Emperor Wu, united northern China beneath banners of gold. He was both scholar and conqueror, a man who spoke of peace while marching through fire. Yet the same strength that built his dynasty would betray him from within. When archaeologists opened his mausoleum at Xianyang, the air was heavy with damp earth and the scent of faded pigment. Inside they found not splendor but restraint, stone corridors, painted guardians, and a skeleton resting in quiet precision. The bones told of a ruler cut down in his prime, not by sword or poison but by the collapse of his own veins. In 2021, scientists decoded his remains, uncovering markers for hypertension and vascular disease, the silent inheritance of a stroke. The chronicles called it a sudden illness. 15 centuries later, the diagnosis returned his voice to the record. Forensic artists rebuilt his features from CT data. Broad forehead, high cheekbones, eyes alert yet weary. When the face appeared in the Shanxi History Museum, it was not the visage of a tyrant or saint, but a human caught between ambition and fate. He ruled a world woven from silk and steel, and both would unravel before the century's end. Within a year of his death, his empire crumbled, swallowed by the dynasties that followed. The digital light fades from his reconstructed face, leaving only the echo of his name. The tide that erased his dynasty would find new shores, where iron would crown another king and fate would draw its blade. Beneath the modern streets of Leicester, the past waited. When archaeologists peeled back the asphalt, they found a grave pressed into clay, spine curved, hands bound, the weight of legend pressing down on bone. Only later did the tests confirm what the whispers had already guessed. The last Plantagenet, King Richard III, had been found at last. His remains told a story stripped of Tudor myth. The scoliosis that shaped his body was no monstrous hump, only a curve, a mark of difference, not deformity. Around him, no crown, no ceremony, just earth, lime, and silence. Science spoke where history slandered. DNA confirmed his royal blood. Isotope analysis revealed a life of privilege, feasts of swan, eel, and wine etched into his bones. A man of silk and steel, feasting in halls, dying in mud. Forensic artists rebuilt his face, angular, intelligent, unexpectedly calm. Then in 2024, technology gave him back his voice.
We're therefore following in the footsteps
A
of
digital
our
echo in the
ancestor.
Yorkshire tones of his homeland. The dead king could speak again, not in Shakespeare's venom, but in his own tongue. In 2015, he was reburied with honor, the last medieval monarch to find peace in the modern age. 10 years later, his story still bridges science and myth, a reminder that identity can survive even the weight of propaganda. Iron crowned him in life and betrayed him in death. But in bone, in data, and in sound, Richard III endures, the king who returned from the earth to tell his own truth. The crown of iron fell into the mud. When it rose again, it was marble, a new king, cautious and calculating, shaping an empire not with swords but with survival. The war was over. England lay quiet beneath the pale light of a new morning. From the ruin of Bosworth, Henry Tudor began to rebuild, not with swords, but with silence and law. After decades of blood, he turned order itself into his weapon. Years passed, and the king who built peace from chaos felt time closing around him. The air smelled of beeswax and prayers. When he died in 1509, artisans hurried to capture his final expression, warm wax over cold flesh, a king's last breath caught forever. From that mask, the effigy that still lies in Westminster was cast, eyes closed, lips firm, the peace of control. 5 centuries later, light returned to that face. Researchers scanned every curve, rebuilding Henry's likeness from digital shadow. In 2022, they reversed death's slackening, tightening skin, restoring muscle, and revealing the man beneath the myth. Sharp cheekbones, narrow jaw, cautious gaze. The result matched the portraits commissioned in his reign almost perfectly, proof that even art can tell the truth when power demands precision. His portraits, his tomb, his palace, all were blueprints for an eternal image. No CT scans, no DNA, only a mask, yet it speaks more clearly than bone. He understood what his fallen enemies never did. Flesh decays, but appearance endures. From iron to marble to gilt bronze, the faces of power have changed their form, but never their purpose. And once again, science reaches into the silence, rebuilding what power left behind. Across empires and ages, from the golden sands of Egypt to the red coast of Peru, from the misted hills of China to the rain-soaked fields of England, 5 rulers rise again. Each face, once buried by time, now returns through science and light. Power may fade, yet the human behind the crown endures, still watching, still remembered, still looking back.